focus on raising capital for your own projects. As you have already mentioned before, the first project you are looking to raise for is 85 million. Second one is 82.5 million. I think maybe the best way to start this call with is just to give me a better background on you and on what you have already done so far. And before the end of the call, if there is any potential collaboration, so I will make sure to share the next few steps from there.
For clarification, this first raise is 85, 82 and a half is for a property, 2.5 is for our operating company, which provides a 16.67 stake in the business that values the business at about 12.5 million pre-money and 15 million post-money. And that's a fee-based business that effectively, the bigger the real estate portfolio grows, we'll charge 75 basis points, so the fees increase proportionately to the size of the increase. So what we're projecting on that 2.5 million, just on that first deal alone, is about a 15% cash on cash, not including any additional deals that we're going to bring into the fold to then go public. So real quick, my background, I've been real estate finance. I also teach here and there at various secondary schools, real estate development and finance. I was also formerly a chief investment officer of a publicly traded company. I put out about $1 billion of equity here in the U.S., about $3 billion in projects. And then I left that company. That was a Chinese-backed company. I left that company. They weren't putting out any capital anymore. They've got some serious issues in China. So I left that company about 3 years ago, started my own, just did some small deals, but also working on some very large REIT transactions that I've put together. I also formerly used to run the mixed use division for the largest multifamily publicly traded REIT in the US, and took the enterprise, or tripled the enterprise value in 18 months of my division that I oversaw. And then my career started effectively at Goldman Sachs as a multifamily financial analyst, underwriting deals and preparing business plans and so on. So basically my whole life has been mainly real estate development, finance, investments, asset management, anything to do with real estate. I obviously also look at stocks and businesses and can underwrite balance sheets and you name it.
That's great. Thanks for sharing that. And right now, how many team members do you have?
Right now, there's 4 other founders with me, and 1 other, I'll call it employee with me. So we've got a total of about 6 people at the moment. The other founders, one of them is actually credited with creating the commercial. He's called, his literal moniker, people coined him as the father of the CMBS industry, who created the commercial mortgage-backed securities industry.
All right. And right now, what the biggest challenge that you are facing with raising capital?
I would say probably just more of the market, meaning in general, at least in real estate, I can't speak to other like private equity and so on, but in real estate, even straightforward deals are taking 2, 3, 4 times as long to get funded and committed to than normal. So everybody seems to be moving much slower than, maybe like 2 years ago. I would actually say when the Fed started hiking, delay in our industry was, as they hiked, our values went down. And as they continued to hike interest rates or their Fed funds rate, the transaction speed and commitments just really grinded to a halt.
All right, got it. And how much have you already raised of capital for the project so far? Or have you already raised any?
So we've got group. So if we wanted to fully fund the operating company, the 2.5, we've got plenty of people that would want to do that. But we're strategically trying to fund the 82 and a half for the property. We do have a publicly traded REIT that may invest 50 of the 82. in a pref equity vehicle. And then
when you say 50, is it like, what do you say with May? I mean, have you already tried to get them to do due intelligence, or is it like the conversation is still going on?
oh no, they're underwriting, and then they have to size it according to their metrics, and then they'll provide us a term sheet. So they're in the initial underwriting stages. I know the CEO and the president very well over there. They're about a $13 billion publicly traded REIT. So they would probably end up, charging us a point for origination, an interim interest rate, and then probably an exit fee. But having their stamp of approval is pretty huge because they're the one or two largest players in that space.
So you have already raised like 50 million, like almost, correct?
No, I wouldn't say. I until I have everything kind of closed and finalized, I would say that, until that happens, and I don't know that we'll go that direction, because the difference, what they would provide is preferred equity. So it's more like debt in a sense. They have no upside, but they got priority payment.
Yes, that's completely different structure than what you are offering today, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we'd probably prefer to have common, just because you have more flexibility. Whereas preferred equity has to get paid first before you participate as common.
Got it. So you would have an issue with them when the structure, if they would actually would like to go further with that. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I mean, we'd prefer to have some common equity and then raise a couple more rounds to buy a couple more deals.
Do you think that they will go with that if you would have common with them?
They won't go with common. They can't structurally. If they did common, they would just own the whole thing, and they won't do it. Just because, again, they're publicly traded. They do this asset type. This portfolio is right underneath their strike zone from a size and scale, but it's good enough for them to go, if all went bad, would I like to own this collateral? And they could, totally work with it.
Okay, so literally you have interest any amount of the capital target as this case.
On the property side, no, and on the operating side, no, just because we're waiting for, we want to make sure that the person investing in the property gets the opportunity to invest in the operating company. If they don't want the operating company investment, which to me wouldn't make a whole lot of sense, but if they didn't want that for whatever reason, we can fill that up in 2 seconds.
Okay, understood. And when you said right here, it's taking like a lot of time, or like long time frames to actually getting the deals rolling in, is it like you have been struggle with that lead generation today? Is it like more in the due intelligence, or like more in the closing side?
No, I'm speaking in generalities and transactions in general, not specifically here. We do have a lot of interested parties from the real estate private equity side. They're moving slower. We're talking to some Korean asset managers. We're talking to some institutions here. We're talking to some guys who formerly had a publicly traded REIT, and their REIT got acquired, and but things are, at least for my pace, things are slower than I would like them to progress. We've been at this probably officially, and we're talking to real estate investment banking firms as well, some household names, but officially been at this probably about, when I got the docs finished, the presentation, it's probably been a good 45 to 60 days, somewhere around there.
45 to 60 days.
Yeah.
So everything is fresh and new.
Yeah, but it's just, again, I would like somebody to go, oh, I love it, let's go.
Okay, so you are looking actually to get things rolling in like in short time. That's who you are as a person. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I just think it's too obvious. To
Got it. And today you have your own connections, your own network, I'm assuming too. Do you think that you can actually close anyone in short time, or like in the near time?
I think the most realistic closing would probably be 30 to 45 days, probably 45.
45 days.
Yeah, that would be my guess. I mean, it just because the only reason for that is the paperwork with attorneys that will slow everything down.
Okay, and do you have like any? I mean, you would raise the 85 million and the 82.5 million from the boss connections that you currently have, or is it like you would tap into new network and you can raise that within the next 45 days?
I mean, we're working the people that we know in our network, and then again, the reason why, and I appreciate all your questions, but reason why I started watching some of your videos and your posts or whatever, and I did watch your pre-video and looked at your drafts and stuff. But I thought, maybe you have access to capital out there that doesn't have this opportunity to help create the next publicly traded REIT in the United States on the stock exchange. Potentially, you may know someone that we don't know. We know a lot of the domestic players, and kind of, even when I say domestic, like really tight within our industry. So it's just like, here's domestic and then tight within the industry. And so I thought, after listening to your stuff, I thought, well, it's good to learn, to see what kind of network you have and what your umbrella is. And maybe this is a place for some either foreign capital or some capital we don't know about to invest.
Yeah, I got that. Understood. So from what you're telling me right here, so you may have someone from your own network who would actually allocate to the projects right there with the next 45 days. Besides that, you are also looking to actually explore like more opportunities on how you can actually allocate to the projects in shorter time or in more larger checks. Is that what you said?
Yeah, so for us to go public on the stock exchange, it would make sense to have assets that are worth about $1.5 billion. This first portfolio is worth about 300 million. So
Okay.
we would need follow-ons after this.
So is it like around 700 million or like more than
Yeah.
that if you are looking to get there?
Yeah, you could say 50-50, 50% debt, 50% equity.
Okay. And how you will get there?
How?
Exactly.
So have the assets as far as like, we know which deals would be next to go acquire. We've got relationships with some of the owners. So we could line those up, but they're obviously going to want to know where the capital is coming from. And same for us, before we engage, we don't want to engage without, kind of having a good idea where the equity capital would come from. The debt's pretty easy to secure. That part really isn't that challenging. But
I mean the equity side, how you would get 700 million or like 350 million if we say that?
Either through our channels, and if we did that, great. Or, again, I'm talking to you to understand kind of what your network is, to see if there's a fit there.
Yes, and through your own channels, do you think that you can cover up to like 150 million of the capital targets that you're looking to raise?
Possibly that or more, but I don't know how it's going to play out. Like there's like, I'm going to say there's 5 different paths this can go down. I just don't know which path or a combination of paths that's going to go down at this juncture.
Yeah, got it. Understood. And do you have you already planned on when you will get that done, or if it's like you want to get that done in the mid of 2026, early 2026, or like during this year? Have you already planned on when you will get that done?
Get what done?
I mean, to rise the capital targets that you are looking to rise right here, which is the first capital target that you are looking to rise.
Oh, the first, we need to get that done in the next, 45 to 90 days, 60 really, 45 to 60.
Why is that? Why is it 60 days max?
Because the portfolio has sensitivities on it that the longer we wait, it'll effectively move away from us. So the opportunity would move away. Now, it's not to say that we can't find another one. It's just one is sitting there right now for us.